The first victim profile is of Parma Maharaj. Detective John Norden of the East Palo Alto Police Department will give us information about the murder. Detective?
Thank you. On May 14th, 2010, just a few minutes before 11 o'clock, East Palo Alto Police received a call of a shooting on the 200 block of Gardenia. When the officers arrived, they found a man suffering from a gunshot wound to the head in the garage of his home. Paramedics pronounced him dead at the scene, and very little information was received thereafter. What we did find out was that there was possibly 2 or 3 people in the area of the home, maybe near the entrance to the yard at some time immediately after the shooting, and possibly somebody down at the street corner near the home. But we have not been able to find any witnesses thus far.
Thank you. Yashu Chaudhry is the nephew of Sunny Maharaj, and Reshni Chaudhry is his niece. And both of them are here to talk to us about their uncle and how his death has affected them and their family members. So thank you both for coming on Make the Call.
Thank you.
So how did you find out, how did you get the news about your uncle's death? Reshni?
I was actually studying. I was going to San Francisco State at the time, and my sister called me right as it happened because my aunt called her. They live about a few houses away, and my aunt called her before she called 911 because she was, you know, in a panic. And
your aunt, meaning your
my
uncle's
aunt,
wife?
Parma's wife.
Right.
My aunt Shushila called, and she told my sister that I think my uncle's been shot. And so my sister called me right away as she was running down the street.
And where were you?
I was in San Francisco. So I immediately...
What did she say to you?
She said, Fufa in Hindi means uncle. She said, Fufa's been shot, Fufa's been shot.
What did you do?
I started crying. I started crying, and...
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's just so hard. And Yashu, how did you find out?
Well, that night I was actually out playing pool with a few friends. And I just got there, it was about 10 minutes. And I walked in, we were playing pool. 10 minutes passed by and I got a phone call, and I picked up the phone call. It was my sister, and she was all,
This sister here? Or
The
no,
same sister.
a middle sister,
Same.
yeah.
So she called you, and what did she tell you?
She called me and she told me that I need to get home now. And I was all like, what's going on? And I thought something happened to our father or something. She's all like, she goes, well, Fufa's been shot. And I didn't believe it. I was like, nah, that's not possible. And then she's all like, no, he has. And I was all like, no, I don't believe it. So we hung up the phone. I got in the car, and I got to East Palo Alto. And I run up and I park my car and I run down the street because they live right down the street from us. And when I get there, there's tape everywhere, of course, the yellow tape, yellow caution tape. And, you know, they wouldn't let nobody go through until we're all like, no, we're family. And they let us go through. And once I got there, I still didn't believe it until I actually walked up and it was my uncle's body, you know?
You actually saw him?
Yeah.
Wow. So how has his death affected you all? I mean, I can see it's affected you now, but in terms of, this was a year ago, almost
Yes.
to the day.
Yeah.
So how have things been?
Go ahead.
It's been really hard. I think that as time has gone by, now our family can talk about it.
It was hard to talk about it.
It was
at
very
first?
hard to talk about at first. I think everyone was in shock. We were very close to him. My wedding was just a few weeks away, and he was hosting the reception.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and he was actually just an hour before that. He was at our house. He was helping my parents remodel the house, and he had just gone home to get a few tools from his garage and come back. And there was like a gathering at our house. The temple was over to organize a few things,
Right.
and so I mean it was very hard because when we were very close to him, and too he was helping so much with my wedding.
Right.
So that was very difficult. And you know, he was the type of person that always, I mean, he didn't know the word no. He always, if you needed him, he would help you, you know, and if there was something that needed to get done, if there was something that you just didn't know and you called him, he could, especially to his nieces and nephews, because, you know, my aunt and uncle, you know, didn't have children, so they took us as their
Right,
own, you know, so
right.
they're just like a mother and father figure.
Right.
So
Wow.
it was It's been very difficult. It's been difficult for my parents, all my aunts and uncles. They were all very close to him.
Right.
And so it's, now that we can speak about it,
Right.
it's been easier.
Right. So you talked a little bit about how he was always there for you all.
Yeah.
And then just never said no. He was helping you through wedding. What else can you tell the viewers here about your uncle?
Yeah.
What kind of personality did he have? Was he a quiet guy? Was he?
Nah, definitely wasn't.
What
Not
was
a quiet guy.
What was he like, Yash?
He was always joking around, all the time, no matter what. Whenever I see him, you know, he'd mess with me, like, oh, it's a girlfriend. No, you know, I was young then, but he was a really good guy. He inspired me to become a mechanic, of
Yeah.
course.
And that's what he did. Is that
Yeah,
what he did?
he's actually a jack of all trades, but
Really?
yeah, he was.
There was
he could do-
nothing he couldn't do.
Yeah.
Really?
He was a carpenter. He was a gardener. I mean,
Really?
you think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
He would fix everybody in the neighborhood's things.
Is
Yeah.
that right? That's
Yeah.
how you got
Everyone
known and-
knew it in the
Everybody,
neighborhood.
like you could just give him a call and you tell him something's
Really?
wrong, and he'll be there and he'll just fix it, like
Wow.
no problem.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I know we have some photographs of your uncle.
Yeah, this photograph's actually really funny because he did not like to take pictures, and my aunt had to persuade him
Forced
for,
him actually
for
to go.
so long to finally, and
It's a lovely photo.
it's
just
actually,
lovely.
you know, it's a much more recent. Yeah, it was their 22nd wedding anniversary, and it's actually the most recent picture.
Wow.
And he looks good.
Yeah. See if we have another photo.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's
this one he
he's
was younger.
a little bit younger.
Yeah,
Is
this
that
is
right?
just probably a few years after my aunt and uncle were married.
That was his
And
style.
how long were they married?
About 20 years.
20 years. Wow. Let's see if we have any other
24 years.
photographs. 24 years of marriage. And here's another.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's my uncle, and next to him is my dad, so my aunt's younger brother, my dad's brother. And this was at an engagement for a cousin of ours. And he was just sitting there. That smirk on his face is probably because he was making a joke.
Yeah.
Because he hated taking
He was
pictures.
a funny guy.
He
but
was-
when
Is that
he
right?
took pictures,
Really
he just
funny.
looked
Really
at
made
you
you
like, why are
laugh.
you taking my
Yeah.
picture?
I think we have one more.
Yeah.
If there's one more photo coming up here. We'll see. Yeah, I guess, is that the same event?
I think it's the same event.
Wow.
Yeah.
There he is. Wow. So your uncle was how old then at the time he was killed?
He was 50 years old.
50 years old. Wow. So, the tough question is that there must be somebody out
Right.
there who knows something.
Right.
And that's why we have this program, right? So if that person or those people are watching this program, what did you want to say to them? I want you to say it now, because maybe they're watching this program.
Right.
What do you want those people to know who may know something about your uncle's death?
I think that there's no way that no one knows. I mean, there were people, as you say, the people came forward, and there were people standing around, and I just don't know how someone can go on knowing in their conscience that they took someone's life and not come forward. And that, you know, when you do something, if the person who did this, when you do something, you don't think about the ripple effect, all the people that it hurts in the process.
Right.
And I think that they must have family. You know, if someone was taken from their life, that meant something to them. It's devastating,
Right.
you know.
So if and even if the shooter doesn't come forward, there are probably other people who know.
Definitely,
Right.
yeah.
So, Yashu, what do you say to them if they're watching this program right now?
The witnesses are around if they're watching this program. I'd wish they'd step forward. Know what I mean?
It would really help our family come to peace. And also just to know that, you know, if this happened to you or your family and you knew someone new, it would be the right thing to do. It would be the right thing to let someone know. You know, you don't, like they've been told, you don't have to come, you can say it anonymously. It doesn't have to be that you say who you are, but, and I know that Make the Call, this isn't the first episode, you know, there are so many people like this all over, especially East Palo Alto, who've lost someone.
Exactly.
And if someone could just come forward and help these families out, and just like our family.
You know, as the viewers can imagine, the murder of Sunny Maharaj was especially traumatizing to his wife, Shushila, who was there when her husband was shot. And Shushila is here in the studio, but she's just simply unable to talk about all of this. So our hearts go out to you, Shushila, and our pleas go out to all of you to make the call if any of you have any information about the killing of Sonny Maharaj. I thank you both for coming on this program, and I remind people, please make the call, 1-888-MURDER-0. Please make the call. Thank you all so much, and it is our hope that with the help of officers or detectives like Detective Norton, and with you all getting the word out, as we're doing also with this program,
Right.
that someone will come forward and this murder will be solved. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what it's about, making the call, 1-888-MURDER-0.